Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite in the world manifestation coach. Why? Because I really care about my clients, I really care about my job bettering people's lives. I go above and beyond for my clients and I go all out for them and teach them everything I know so that I can help them to be the best versions of themselves. I mainly coach in audio exchange, and I'm going to discuss this in just a little bit because I think there are a lot of new people on my channel now. Over 1,400 people now on my channel. I need to really explain how my coaching works so that everybody's aware. Essentially, you record an audio about yourself. We go through everything, starting with your childhood, how you grew up, your adolescence, your parents, your guardians, whatever your situation was when you were a child. And you record your audio. Let's start, with your childhood. You record an audio. Each audio needs to be 20 minutes max at a time. I review your audio. I listen to it more than once. I take my extensive notes. Everybody gets a separate notepad in my coaching, and I reply with my own audio, which usually is more than 20 minutes, far more than 20 minutes, but it takes me like at least 2 to 3 hours to do this because different people. I have clients from all over the world, different people, different accents. I really have to get used to how you talk, okay, how you express yourself. I listen to it more than once to make sure I didn't miss anything, what you're telling me, how you're telling it to me. And so this is very meticulous work, but I really love doing it. Why? Because this helps me really pan out your history to understand where you're coming from, who you are as a person today. So we cover your history thoroughly, starting from childhood, like I said, your parents, guardians, this and that, to today, your SPs, your marriages, divorces, finances, everything. I want to know everything. Everything is confidential in my coaching, of course, and obviously even some people who have pissed me off in my coaching, which are not too many. And unfortunately, I had to terminate my coaching with them because of their wild behavior. Even those people, I never disclose anything because everything is confidential. Now, the rules of my coaching are those. You cannot go apeshit on me. Okay, I am a coach. I am a human being who needs to be respected, who has rules of her coaching. And it goes like this. I am not a therapist. I am a coach. I'm a manifestational coach. If you really have a mental problem, okay, I sympathize. It's not that I'm making fun of you, but I am not in the capacity to help you. This is not that kind of situation, okay? So if you have, like you suspect, or at least you're aware that somewhere down the line there was a problem with you of some kind that is beyond a coach's capacity to help, please go to therapy, okay, and get help. I can't deal with situations like that. I am here to help you. The reason I'm going through your history is because I want to understand your beliefs. The next most important rule is that you need to take my guidance. I assume that you come from YouTube. Most of the time, people come from YouTube, and you know my personality, you know my directness. If you're going to start arguing with me, if you're going to start rebuttaling me, questioning my methods, you know what? Then what are we doing here, right? You cannot bombard me with text messages. You cannot text me at 1 o'clock in the morning, okay? Several times. That has happened before. You cannot demand that I answer you right away. I have a lot of clients and I work very hard to answer them as soon as I can, but you cannot demand that I answer you right away. You just can't do that. Again, if you're in an emergency mode, you need to call 911 and get yourself a psychiatrist, okay? And maybe some medication too. And again, I'm saying it out of sympathy, not out of criticism. When you sign up for my coaching fee is non-refundable. I have to block out a certain amount of time to help you. I am a very busy person. I have other businesses as well as this coaching. And so my time is vital because I have a waiting list usually. And there's certain amount of wait. Okay. You need to pre-book. You need to pay ahead for me to consider you as a client, meaning I'll talk to you. We discuss your situation. If it's absolutely something that I cannot deal with, again, it's another story. But again, this is why the warning. I am not a therapist. I am a coach. Okay. So basically, once you pay, this fee is non-refundable. My personality comes more than pre-advertised. My style of coaching comes more than pre-advertised. I'm very direct. I realize my coaching is not for everybody. I get that. And I don't want it to be for everybody. It would be, quite frankly, overwhelming for me to have too many clients at once. You have to be able to handle the truth. And I know a lot of people listening to this will say, yes, of course, I like your direct approach and I like this and that and the other. But once they're in coaching with me, sometimes one or two people have done that. They couldn't handle what I had to say to them. So if you want to stay in your dysfunction, please, like I said, go with somebody else who's going to just put a band-aid on your huge wound and not address the issue. I'm more into the truth. If you want to spend endless hours in therapy or endless years, you can do that too. The main difference between me and a therapist is as I'm allowed to tell you what I really think. I'm allowed to tell you the truth. A therapist will always only ask you, how did it make you feel? At no point are they allowed to tell you what they think. And believe me, they do think things. But they're not allowed to tell you that. They're there to listen, and this is why it doesn't work. Now, parenthesis here. Minimum time in my coaching is a month. Right? But realistically speaking, okay, the more I look at because this coaching was entirely created for YouTube people only. I've had my other clients who've stayed with me, for years because their schedule, they're in the entertainment business mostly, their schedule is crazy. So it's a whole different other structure, a whole different paying structure. And so they, with their schedule, they shoot movies, they do concerts and tours and this and that. It's a whole other different lifestyle. For a regular person, okay, you really need to spend 2 to 3 months with me at a time. Okay, you really do. You need to focus. It's not a lot to ask out of the whole entirety of your life to spend 2 to 3 months in coaching with me, addressing your problems to fix your shit once and for all. Okay, please come prepared to spend 2 to 3 months with me. And I really do prefer if you book it ahead so that I can make sure that I have time. Okay, that's all I ask. It's just service that you really need to take seriously. You really need to take my direction. You can start arguing with me. You can disrespect me. That's pretty simple, pretty, understandable for a reasonable person. If none of this sounds good to you, you know what? I'm sure you'll find something else somewhere else where it's going to drag on for like months and years, and you're gonna be back to this channel and ask me for help. And by then, I hope I will still be coaching, because at some point, I'm just, I think I will not coach anymore. I mean, maybe a year from now or this and that, because I have so many clients. I am so busy, and I just wanted to help people. Like during COVID, I started this channel and I wanted to help people that are everyday people with their problems. And as my channel grows, it will be more and more difficult for me to be of immediate help to you, of almost immediate help. Like I said, it's usually like 1 or 2 weeks of wait before like somebody exits my coaching so that I can take a new person, and so it goes. Okay, so which is why it's so, imperative that you pre-book so that I can then take you on, and there's a way to establish that I'm the right coach for you. It's not that, I'm asking you to pre-book like 2 to 3 months with me right away. We can have a conversation first on the phone. We can talk about what it is you need to work on. I will apply that fee towards your coaching fee. There's ways to work on that, but please come prepared to take this seriously and really just put in the time and effort. Okay. Otherwise, I can tell you what to do. I can be there for you. I can put my 110% than 20% into you. But unless you show up and unless you're prepared to take this seriously, it will just not work. All right? Okay, so today's subject is your SP is under your mental command. All right. So essentially, loads of people come to me in my coaching for SP reasons, and it's always more or less the same story. Some kind of drama happened. They did something wrong. They cheated. They lied. They betrayed you. All sorts of situations that are really problematic. Divorce, this and that, triangulations, and all sorts of situations. Okay. The number one thing, right, that I ask in my coaching to myself and to you, how did you create the situation? Which is why the emphasis on how you grew up and your blueprint. Because this didn't just happen, okay? This was created by you, none other but you. This situation was created with your beliefs, with your expectations, with your thoughts, with your ideas that you carry till today about love relationships, about your self-esteem, about what it is you, who it is you are, and what it is you represent in the world. There's no other way, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, because they would rather blame somebody else and say, he's a jerk, he did this to me, or she's a bitch and she did this to me. No, this is not the case. You created the situation, you created this person, you created this version of this person to show yourself something. And in fact, you should really thank that person for that, because they're reflecting back to you what you've got going on the inside. There is absolutely nothing else going on in the world. There can't be. There's only one thinking mind in the world, and that is you. In your universe, in your world, there's only one mind, you. Okay? Now, I say this not to blame anybody. There are no mistakes. There is no blame. I don't believe in mistakes. I don't believe in blaming anybody. But it is really, truly helpful to identify the truth, the facts, the premise, the beliefs, the blueprint, okay? And not start hanging blame on everybody but yourself. Because the only one responsible is truly you. Now, the other person may have acted as a jerk to you, and they may have done certain things that were hurtful. That is correct. The experience is obviously valid. It's not that. But how did you create it? How did you create that person? And most importantly, how did you create that version of the person and that sequence of events? And that's what I'm profoundly interested, down to the details of it, so as to not recreate it ever again. Ever again. Now, there's usually, I can identify the reason why you created this version of this person and not another one, like a more benevolent one, or a more coherent one, more loving one, because there's a program right now that's running in your mind, in your blueprint. It's like a computer. Some kind of event or events plural affected your psyche, your mind, to believe something that is not true about yourself. Okay? This is why you are presenting those experiences to yourself over and over again. Beliefs about yourself, beliefs about the world, beliefs about how love relationships work or should work, the dynamic of a relationship. You'll hear sometimes, some people say, well, marriages don't last. That's just, 50% divorce and this and that. Well, first of all, said who? Who's saying that? Some outside person? Why does it have to be your case? That you create your reality. So stop listening, first of all, what other people are saying about anything. All these ideas that you download and you carry with yourself, you have to examine them. And it's usually very helpful to have somebody really objective as a coach to sit down with you, metaphorically speaking, obviously, because we're exchanging audios. And by the way, in all of my packages, there are phone calls included. I usually start out with a phone call to get to know you, which lasts about an hour. to sit down with you and objectively look at your blueprint, look at your beliefs. And while to you, you could be, well, I surely know myself. I live with myself all day long. But do you know yourself? Because your program is so subdued. It's like, imagine an iceberg where just the tip of it is on the surface. This is your conscious mind. The rest of the iceberg is underneath. And that's like 90%, okay, of the iceberg, which represents the subconscious mind, which runs on autopilot, which means the subconscious mind is no longer like it's not in your thoughts anymore. It's so downloaded, it's so effortless, it's so on automatic pilot that you are not even aware of what you're thinking anymore. And so unless you have somebody to talk to about what your beliefs are, for somebody really discerning to realize, okay, I think this is where your problem lies, which I'm pretty good about identifying the problem. It usually, like, truthfully, the first month, most of the time, in most cases, I cover the history first. It's very important, and we identify what we need to work on. Some people are different, okay? Some people have a lot more history than others, a lot more work to do than others. But on average, okay, at least 3 weeks for me to cover your history. Because most of the people that come into my coaching have lived a life. All right. They have a lot of experiences. And even if they're younger, they have a lot of things to go through because they've lived a life. It doesn't really matter how old or how young you are. It's just, it's experience is what it really comes down to. And so for the first 3 weeks, at least to a month, we cover the history and we identify what it is that is the trouble. And in and of itself, is really helpful to realize, oh, now I see. And then we proceed to changing your blueprint. And then, and only then, we proceed to the manifestational part. This is the intelligent, educated way of doing it. Any other way is just bullshit, which is why a lot of people are just walking around frustrated. And a lot of those people came to me to coach because they've tried this coach and that coach, spend way more money than I'm charging for my coaching, and got no results. All right. And so essentially, everything you've lived thus far, you commended. That person that you parted with, or you're in separation with, or who is maybe even you still live together, but you don't agree with them on most things, or you don't like what they act like. You are facilitating this through your blueprint. Okay, through your belief system. This is why it hasn't changed that far. This is why you'll see a person go through the same relationship with different people over and over and over and over again. Because the common denominator is them. Okay, it's not somebody else. It's not anything else other than them. So when in coaching with me, you really have to be humble. You really have to be honest about things. This is the only way to do this. You can sugarcoat shit to me, and I can sugarcoat shit to you. And then where will we be? At a sugarcoating fucking party? Like, what the fuck is that? No, you have to be honest about why things transpired the way that they did. Because everything is mental. You commanded through your belief system, okay, this person to behave this way, this person to be that way, all right? Consciously or unconsciously. And so the idea is to learn how did you do it in the first place, and then do it on purpose. Reprogram your mind to something that is beneficial to you, and do it on purpose this time around. Not unconsciously, not reacting to 3D, but actually doing it on purpose, deciding what kind of outcome you would like to have. Because you can tell me your story and your history and say, Anna, you don't understand this guy, this girl, pa 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 pa. Okay. No, I'll hear you out gladly, and then I'll be like, okay, I understand. This is very useful information. But now, how did you create this? Okay? And now, how are we going to change it so you can create something different, whether with this person or somebody else? Because you can be like all these other people, right? Watching 500 million videos on YouTube and getting sucked into the never ending, search for the perfect recipe and the perfect technique and all this fucking crap. Or you can actually invest time in examining what's been going on with you lately. For the last several decades, maybe. All right? Because there's nobody else to examine other than you, because everything is coming from you. You're the one who has commanded this person to act this way. That's it. If tomorrow you change your mind, okay, you change your blueprint, you end up working through it and you change your blueprint, and suddenly you're in a state of a completely different person who is you. You are a different person now with a new blueprint. And you start mentally, on purpose, commanding to that guy or girl, woman or man, something completely different from what you've been doing before. This person will be a different fucking person. Are you listening to what I'm saying? This person will be a different person. Why? First of all, because you changed, okay? And in this reality, everybody else is different, including your SP. And two, now you are thinking different thoughts about this person. You're commanding different thoughts, okay? As long as you are staying the same person with the same thoughts about that person, your SP will never fucking change. Don't expect it ever in a million fucking years. Don't attribute importance to them. You're the only one with the free will in your world. They have no free will. Just like you created them to be a shitty version, you can create them to be a good version. It's all up to you. So isn't it better to be in control rather than complaining or blaming somebody else? I would say being in control is the best thing in the world. And you are in control. You've always been in control. That's the funny thing. So you can tell me any story under the sun. I will ask you, how did you create it? And what kind of thoughts, what kind of commands, once you want to change your mind about the situation, are you going to implement now? Because you can tell me, oh, you don't understand. This has been my story for 6, 10, 12, 30 years. I don't care. But you've kept it the same for a reason. It doesn't really matter how long. It could be for 2,500 years. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if this person got married to somebody else. It doesn't matter if they have 500 girlfriends. It doesn't matter if anything. If you really want to change this person, you can. Now, sometimes people don't, and that's good too. At the same time, you still need to work on yourself so that the next person is not a reproduction or even a worse version, because the universe usually knocks on your door harder when you don't get the fucking message about what it is you need to work on in yourself. So the next version of your SP, meaning another person, next relationship, could be even worse because you don't get the idea that you are the one who needs to fix some shit inside of you. So some people who don't understand how this works go around saying, oh, this is just my luck. I am the poor me. No. I mean, poor you that you don't understand what the fuck you need to do. But, realize that this is happening for a reason. If you notice that it's coming up more than once in your life, if you notice that it's been happening with the same person more than, a year or so, or even a week, forget a year, a week or two, the person is acting the same way towards you, something inside of you needs to change. Okay? And I don't blame, and I don't think it's a mistake. There's no blame put. The idea, though, is to be aware. To be aware that something is out of line, you need to fix some things. Because once you go through your mental beliefs, your mental construction, your consciousness, the way you've been operating thus far, You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to chase. You don't have to beg. You don't have to plead. You don't have to ask for anything, in fact. You can just really command your SP mentally. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to come and apologize? They will do that. Do you want them to send you a text? They will send you 500 texts. Do you want them to email you some lovely love letter? They will do that. Do you want them to bring you a dozen roses? They will do that. Do you want them to be like, you and only you, you're my one and only, I want to marry you? They will do whatever the fuck you want. The only reason they haven't done that shit yet is because you don't, first of all, you don't believe that they will do that, because you've got certain beliefs going on in your mind. And secondly, you don't believe that you're that powerful. Meanwhile, you're that powerful, you've created the shitty version in the first place. You're creating all of this anyway. Every single situation around you, every single object around you, okay, is a simulation. It's your little cartoon land where you literally have the say-so all along. It doesn't seem that way. It seems like other people are walking around and, they are kind of like when they leave your side, they go somewhere. No, they don't go anywhere. They disappear into abyss. It's just like this example that I gave in one of my audios, or maybe more than once. When you leave your house or apartment and you go to the grocery store or wherever it is you're going to work or whatever, for a walk even, it disappears into nothingness. When you come back, you recreate it. In the same way, when your SP leaves your sight, you've manifested them out of your life. And when you, quote unquote, manifest them back is only because you decided to. If you had bad thoughts about this person, you've manifested them out of your life, because the universe is very coherent. It says, oh, well, she or he doesn't like this person. They really, really don't like this person. So let me just make them disappear, because universe is benevolent. Universe is for creation, for moving forward, for creating benevolent things. Unlike what some people think. Which is why when some people have this like really kind of like distorted mentality about, oh, the universe is not on my side, well, then it's not on your side in your reality. But generally it is. As a fundamental principle of the universe is friendly. It's on your side. If you decide it's not on your side, then in your reality, it won't be. So if you're complaining about this SP and becoming insecure or saying something that wasn't really productive for that relationship, you've literally made that person disappear. Okay? It's like Home Alone. I love that example. Home Alone 1. I'm sure everybody's familiar with that movie, so I can give you this example. When Kevin wakes up in the attic or whatever, upstairs, and looks around the house, and he was like really hating his family and the way they treated him and this and that. And finally he realizes that there's nobody in the house. And he goes, I made my family disappear. I made my family disappear. It's like that with your SP. You were complaining, you were hating on their behavior, you didn't understand that you could change it because you were creating them to be that way. And finally, poof, breakup, divorce, something. And then they left. That's it. And you're over there in the corner feeling sorry for yourself and saying, oh, they left me. What do I do? No, you created this. You're very powerful. Congratulations for exerting your power. Now it's reverse of what you want, but you don't understand the mechanics of the universe. If you are, feeling sorry for yourself, you could be like, wow, what a fantastic manifestation. I got rid of them. Anytime, like in my life personally, anytime I would complain about something or I would really not like somebody, they would disappear out of my life. Or there would be some conflict and I would just literally get rid of them. Mentally speaking, not like physically. Right? So the universe, again, it's very precise. It's listening to you the entire time. Like, what's that? You don't like that? Pfft, gone. Now, if you understood how it actually works, now, maybe you really don't like this person. That's another story, right? But maybe you didn't understand how you even created this person and why, right? Again, to show yourself something. And many of you sometimes mistake this person that you created who was not as loving or that agreeable with you and this or that as somebody you'd rather have. Whereas the reality of things is that maybe somebody better is there out there for you. Somebody that you can create when you become somebody better. Okay? So you can bring that SP back if you really want them. If it's a nice person and there was just disagreements, nothing really major happened, because sometimes, sometimes it's beyond repair. Sometimes there was disrespect. Sometimes there was such, real lines were crossed that it's of no return. Okay, yeah, the person can come and apologize to you, but will you ever look at them the same? It's up to you. The decision is yours, but obviously everything is possible. There's nothing that is impossible. Okay, but if you want to bring back your SP, it's mental. Like all of a sudden, right now, mentally, you can decide after doing the work. Okay, parenthesis here, so please don't get overly excited. Instantly, you can start deciding, okay, they're a different person now because I'm a different person. And this is how I feel about them. And this kind of feeling doesn't happen overnight. There's work to be done. Okay, it just is. Otherwise, you will revert back to your old patterns, your old beliefs, and then it will be back to square one. This is why some people get back together, and then you know what? It's the same bullshit all over again because they haven't done the work properly on themselves. But all of a sudden, right now, instantly, you can start being like, you know what? I'm a different person now. There's no resentment, no anger. I'm totally purified of all of that. I've forgiven them, no matter what it was, whatever. And now all of a sudden mentally, I will send them a message of like, I think I would like to reconcile. I think I want to try again. And again, it really doesn't matter what happened in the past, what you did in the past, and this and any other, okay? Your decision lies purely in creating something new right now, okay? I'm sorry, if you're hearing my nose stuffed up, is because I guess I'm allergic to something blooming right now, so I apologize if that's translating in the tape. You send them a message telepathically, and you say, maybe we can reconcile. I really miss you, or I really want to see you. But not miss you like in a needy way, like I really would love to see you. But you don't text them. You don't chase them. You don't email. You nothing. Okay? You don't drive by their fucking house. You carry on mentally talking to them telepathically on a daily basis and sending out a different signal to them this time around. Now remember, when you change, this person changes. So you're not talking to the same person anymore. Because you changed, they are changed. So you're talking to a different person. This doesn't mean, by the way, that you completely forget the past. You choose to relinquish it and create something new, like painting on a brand new canvas. Okay? Now this person, you need to talk to them like this new version of a person, not the old version. You can't regurgitate the past. You can't keep bringing up the hurts. You're gonna start just brand new and fresh after working on yourself and after relinquishing all that pain and hurt. Like I said, you really do need to validate yourself. It's not like you're just going to shove it under the carpet. No way. But once you do that work, then you start talking to this person like they are that brand new person. Okay? And chances are, big chance, is that this person is going to come to you themselves to apologize for everything they've done to you, for leaving you, for cheating on you, for lying to you, for doing all this bullshit towards you. And again, the choice is yours. You're the creator. You're in charge. Okay? By now, in that process, you would have realized that you're the one in charge. Nobody else is in charge. So the decision is yours. Whether you want to take them back or not, it's up to you. Maybe you give it some time. You take a look at them. But again, you're looking at your creation. There's a dance between the physical you, the 3D you, and the spiritual you. The spiritual you, the higher self, knows that you're capable of miracles and magic. Why do you think I titled this channel Magic and Miracles? Because it's about you. You are magic and miracles. So the spiritual side of you knows anything is possible. The physical part of you, the 3D part of you, your mind that went through certain situations in your life remembers all that data, okay? Collects all that data. Sometimes it's not useful to remember it anymore and hang on to it anymore. Once you've done the forgiveness work, once you've done the relinquishing of emotions. And so the more you go with the spiritual side of yourself, with the spirit side of yourself, with the higher self, who knows that anything is possible, that this person can turn around and become this version, and that your relationship can become a completely different version, just as their different version, the relationship is a different version. Why? Because you changed. You changed your mind, and everything in the world changed, including your relationship with that person. And the beautiful thing about this is that not only that will change, but their finances will change, relationships at work will change, your outlook, general outlook on life will change. Why? Because maybe for the first time in your life, you realize that you are the one in fucking charge. Nobody else. You've been in charge all this time before. But now you're just more aware of it and consciously taking the reins of your life through mental commands. If you command the universe that this person is brand new, they're brand new. If you command the universe that this person is in love with you, they're in love with you. If you command the universe that they're coming to apologize to you, not in a needy way, okay? In a telepathic, relaxed, golden Buddha type of way. Like, this is what is now. Period. The end. My command is the only one that rules in my universe. If you command to receive a certain amount of money, well, then you will receive that money. You don't need to figure out how. You don't need to ask anybody for anything. You don't need to chase anybody for anything. You draw it in with your energy. All that needs to change is your energy. And how does the energy change? Through your mental programming. Because that really is deeply rooted and resides in your mind on automatic pilot. How would you like to have mental blueprint that resides on automatic pilot that is completely beneficial to you, that you can fix once and for all and derive benefits from it, like for the rest of your life? Now, for me personally, I don't know a better investment. I've done that investment in myself a long time ago, and let me tell you something, it's the best thing I've ever done with my life. And that's what I'm here teaching and really offering to the rest of the world. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.